So let's just kind of go over some of the advantages of a hospitalist. Some of the advantages of a hospitalist is they're always there. If you go to a hospital at 3 in the morning, you're more than likely going to be seen by a hospitalist because 75%, if not more, of hospitals have hospitalists doing all of their admissions, their general admissions. So there's an advantage where in the old days, if you went in at 3 in the morning, your primary care doctor was probably sleeping. And the ER would call your primary care doctor. He would give some orders over the phone, and he would try to see you right before he went to the office, if he could. If not, he'd call and give some more orders. I'm just playing that out. It wasn't always like that. But you could see that. So now with hospitalists, no matter what time you go, there's going to be a hospitalist there. And if you believe some of the data, they're going to lengthen your stay, you're going to have better outcomes, and you're going to be more satisfied. The other thing the hospitalists allowed things to improve was they actually became the quarterback for your care in ways that your internist could have never done, because he can't really be quarterbacking your care if he's not in the hospital the vast majority of the day. I mean, technically he's the quarterback, but if your primary care doctor who's in the office 8 hours a day is your quarterback, well, that doesn't really make sense because he's not going to be there when the labs come back, when the specialists walk in. So with a hospitalist, there were some major advantages because he literally was in the hospital all day. And when the specialist came, often he'd have an opportunity to talk with him when the labs came back. And because the hospitalists hung out at the hospital pretty much every day, he got to know the EKG technician. He got to know the CAT scan tech. So if he needed something done really urgently, as like any job, if you're there all day long, you get to know the system. You get to know when the electronic medical records goes down once a week for 2 hours or whatever. You get to know the ins and outs. You get to know what days they have good food in the cafeteria. You get to know the security guard. You get to know everything. And some of that may be not important, but on some level, a hospitalist understanding when the specialist's round, what the normal pattern of how long it really takes to get a CAT scan. If you want to get a CAT scan urgently, not only do you have to order it stat, but you got to call your friend in the CAT scan department and say, no, this is really stat, not the normal stat. So you can think of it as super stat. Your doctor that's going and hanging out of the office probably is not going to know all that. And to that extent, a hospitalist can make your life a lot better. He may also know other specialists who may not even be on your case, who he may see walking down the hallway that your primary care doctor would never bump into because he's never there during office hours. So he can meet and greet and talk to and collaborate in ways that your primary care internist could never do. So huge, huge advantage. And the other thing the hospitalists could do is the hospitalists can manage all of the scut work and things that the specialists don't want to do, allowing the specialists to focus on what they do.